After months of speculation, there's been some pretty good hints along the way. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to officially announce a run for the White House tonight. Our sources say the announcement will come at 6 p.m. Eastern in a conversation between the Florida governor and Elon Musk on Twitter, right? Using the power of social media. DeSantis, seen by many as the strongest challenger to former President Donald Trump. NewsNation anchor Leland Vittert is here with us this morning, host of On Balance with Leland Vittert. Leland, I was trying to think of the last time I was on a Twitter Spaces. When have you been on one recently?
None that I know of.
I have to figure out how to get on a Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, all the kids are doing it. I hear it's the rage. Look, Twitter's not real life. And I think as interesting as this is and novel, and it gives, interestingly enough, all the people who live on Twitter something to talk about how different and interesting this is. Winning the Republican presidential nomination revolves around convincing people in Iowa, New Hampshire, in South Carolina to vote for you. It's very simple. For all the discussion of what goes into a presidential race, I don't know how announcing on Twitter Spaces today convinces people in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina to vote for you 18 months from now. And frankly, 18 months from now, when we have the first caucus in Iowa and then the first primary in New Hampshire, I don't think anybody's going to remember. So if Ron DeSantis is still in the race by then, how he announced isn't going to matter. What I think is interesting is that he's choosing to remain in the social media bubble that he likes to exist in and views as a safe space. Fine. That said, history tells us, meaning the past few months, that doesn't work out very well for him. How do we know that? Because his poll numbers continue to collapse in those key states.
Is this also a dig at the former president making this announcement on social media of all platforms on Twitter?
Well, because Twitter was banned, Twitter banned Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump is not banned on Twitter. I don't know if it's so much a dig at the former president as an acknowledgement of the power of Elon Musk right now and the acknowledgement of how important to conservatives the idea of Twitter is. And I go back to Twitter isn't real life. There is a feeling among certain extremes of both parties that their base lives on Twitter, and somehow the Twitter conversation and who's following you and who's commenting and how sort of aggressively obnoxious you can be to the other side on Twitter, the quote unquote dunking on social media, somehow translates into votes. But there's really been nobody who's been better on Twitter over the past few months than Ron DeSantis and Ron DeSantis's team. His rapid response team, his social media coordinators, on and on and on. They're geniuses at using Twitter. And look what has happened to his poll numbers. So I'm trying to figure out what the calculus is going forward of when, if they do at all, move into the realm of actually going and meeting with voters and doing that hard work. The flip side to all of this would be that Glenn Youngkin won the 2021 Virginia governor's race by largely sort of pushing aside traditional media and traditional press conferences that you'd see from a gubernatorial candidate. And there is a lot of Team Youngkin now involved in Team DeSantis.
Well, and I'm just wondering, in a Twitter space, Elon Musk says that it's going to be kind of a free-flowing conversation, Q&A, kind of in real time. People can ask their questions. How does a Ron DeSantis do? And I mean, to be honest, they're going to get lots and lots of people watching. I mean, is it really going to be a free-flowing discussion where people can ask at will and they'll just ad-lib through it? I mean, realistically, I don't even know what this looks like.
Yeah, it's a great point. I don't think anybody else does either. Elon Musk now becomes a TV host. Fine. Lots of people, again, lots of people will tune in. Are anybody going to tune in who wouldn't tune in if this was on a typical announcement that you would normally see? Again, I think 18 months from now, if Ron DeSantis is still in the race, he's not going to be the front runner or in third or fifth place in Iowa because of what happens today on Twitter Spaces. It just doesn't. Historically, we know that how you announce doesn't really matter. It is the hard work of being on the ground in these states, of meeting voters, of connecting with them. And that's really Ron DeSantis's weak point. He's great in a very scripted environment. He's great in the safety net of social media, surrounded by people who agree with him. You know, when he goes to Iowa and he goes to South Carolina, and he goes to New Hampshire, as he's done on this book tour, it doesn't work out that well.
I know it's funny, Leland. I'm thinking about this space that we find ourselves in, and I guess pun intended with the Twitter space, but like that announcements are such a big deal. They're going to announce, and we all stop and listen to the announcement, right? I mean, the bread and butter is the campaign and can you get the votes, but it feels like a lot of attention being paid to the official announcement and when it will happen. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.